tab, there's your blood streaming fire, tag of light at the light. Every night you fight, take the sight, live the sight, baby shows in the escapade. That's the arcade, pixelated party lesson, they unafraid. Karaoke screams, singing themes, heart and sleeves. Anime dreams, brushing seams, city gleams, dancing screams, endless streams, less extreme. Saturday gleams, so day gleams, so it seems nothing rings. Raise the channel, riot loud, crowd unbowed, techno sound, pulses pound, dream astound, youth unbound, joy profound, I'm lost and found. Channel raver on the prowl, echoes howled. Electric beats, bustin' streets, endless streets, midnight beats, living heat, hearts beat bleed, polyphonic needs, cyber beats, rhythm sweet, Saturday seats, beat retreats, makes us complete, blazing trails, no fails.
Hello and welcome. It's 8 o'clock on the dot here at Site B, broadcasting live. It is I, the OGGM, on another gloomy Saturday here where I live. Today we're talking about Shadowdark Modern with our special guest, Viktor, the Stay Buff Marshmallow Man, but he's running late, which is understandable because he lives on the opposite side of the world from me, which means where I am, it's 8, and where he is, it's like midnight or 5 or something. And sadly, I can't stay on very long because family moving, emergency, people scheduling furniture to be delivered at a place that nobody's at, so I have to go there. Yeah, we're getting a couch delivered. There's nobody there, dude. Oh, could you go? You couldn't have asked me a week ago when you scheduled the couch delivery. Anyways, we're talking about Blacklight, and we're talking about my Shadowdark Modern. As far as I know, Viktor and I are the only two people doing Shadowdark Modern. If anybody else is hammering Shadowdark into alternate timelines besides fantasy, please let me know. I should probably be on the Shadowdark Discord, but I'm not, and I'm not sure why. Probably because there's like 80 of them and I don't know which is which. So at this point, I would ask Viktor why Shadowdark? Because he had already been very successful with the Blacklight original, which was for a different system, and his other stuff. And I know he's working on his own system called the Ammo Box, which I think is a 2d6 system, which I had said like a year ago I'd be happy to hack into a superhero game. So we've been trading texts and communications back and forth for a while now, and we both have a love for hacking systems that weren't designed to be modern or ultra modern into modern. So he does a lot of stuff with like the Shadowrun style, where you mix magic with everyday or modern day tech, or special ops versus dinosaurs, special ops versus magic. So more of a low power version of Delta Green, just the idea that there is a paramilitary organization out there in this world where magic works, and there's supernatural supernatural elements. I have a degree in communications. I used to be a radio host who did this for a living. I don't know what happened. But yeah, so that idea, it's been around forever. The whole Torchwood, right? Hellboy BPRD, the Branch of S.H.I.E.L.D., just normal guys with guns versus the supernatural. He had done this for a different system, and then for some reason, he decided to redo it in Shadowdark. Now, Shadowdark is definitely not normally what you would think to be a system that's hackable into modern day or super day. So being that he already had a successful system, I would say, why switch to Shadowdark? Again, as far as I know, he and I are the only people that are doing Shadowdark Modern. If you're not aware, I just released another Shadowdark Modern product. If I can get the links to work. So I just released this yesterday. This is actually a rewrite of something I released earlier. If you remember, I did a Fistful of Goblins, which was a D20 Weird West system using Blacklight, not Blacklight, whatever, Cobalt Press's open source. And then I had done a Waffle Apocalypse, my Goblin Waffle Apocalypse post-apocalypse game for sort of Shadowdark, but not really. And then I decided I wanted to rewrite the Old West one, the Weird West one, but I also wanted to rewrite the post-apocalypse one. And then I decided I was going to combine both of them, and I'd throw in my space game too. So this is sort of a core universe for everything that I'm going to write going forward that isn't superheroes. So I'm going to have my Shadowdark superhero stuff taking place, in Crime City / Fresno, Nevada. And I'm going to have this sort of post-apocalyptic Weird West genre explosion. So it's post-apocalypse. The post-apocalypse has ended, but for some reason it has spiraled into a Weird West genre. But there's also some space stuff because I wrote my Goblins in Space book. I wrote my Goblin post-apocalypse book, and I wrote my Goblin Weird West. So I wanted to combine them all together, which gets us Tales of the Pog Wars. I wanted to call it Two-Fisted Tales of the Pog Wars, but another game just came out called Two-Fisted Tales. And I was like, oh, man. But yeah. So I wanted to combine a lot of the confusion about the Waffle Apocalypse, which I always refer to, and the Pog Wars, which I always refer to, and what are Pogs? And again, with the whole Goblin thing, why Goblin? Well, to go into it for a really long time is because of just my years of playing with my friend Aaron Cornelius and his Goblin comics, and a lot of that went into the early creation of all of the universes. So basically, in Soul, Aaron is the co-creator of this universe of mine. But so right now I have two universes, and if I do anything fantasy-esque, it would be in the Tales of the Pog Wars universe, because there's already magic. So it'd be very easy to take that fact that I could do Goblin Dark Shadow Punk if I wanted to rewrite that one after I finish with superheroes, and just set it as another part of this world. So this is going to be my core world for anything that isn't superheroes. This Weird West post-apocalypse, goofy, over-the-top Saturday morning cartoon 1980s type of stuff, which just happens to be more or less about goblins. I don't really know how goblins became the main, but they are, and why not? So this is my Shadowdark Modern universe, and my other Shadowdark Modern universe is superheroes. So if you haven't had a chance, Tales of the Pog Wars is available for $12 on drive-thru and $12 over on Giant Slayer. And yeah, so check it out. And I also have it on a POD, I believe, on drive-thru, if I figured it out correctly, and POD over on Lulu. But PDF is fine. Just download my PDF. I don't, if you really want to print it out, great, but I don't really know if there's a market for that. I mean, T-shirt had said, yes, there is a market. I don't know if there is. I mean, if you want, I think I did POD. I'd be happy, if you downloaded POD, but I always think PDF. Since most of us are using the comptometers. So yeah, let's take a look at Blacklight. So this is my tabletop exploration into hacking Shadowdark into modern day or ultra modern day. And we know why I chose Shadowdark. One, it is a very easy system to hack. It is surprisingly easy. Kelsey made such a bare bones Lego backbone that it is way more easy to hack than you would think. I mean, when you think about it, a lot of D20 systems are D20 systems, and you can just easily convert level-based D20 into level-based D20. And once you have that, it's just the bells and whistles of fitting it the genre. Everything about Shadowdark really worked when I was thinking modern, other than the fact there's no guns. But everything else was like, well, this is low, powerful, semi-realistic, dark and gloomy, that I could easily hack it into supers. And more importantly, as I have been blatantly obvious about, I'm in it for the Benjamins. I chose Shadowdark because I knew it had the built-in fan base, and I knew it was an easily approachable system that I could create this world in and then I knew I would if I hook my cart to Kelsey's Tales, I could maybe suck up some of that money and some of that recognition. And if, Shadowdark Fantasy has been covered, but not a lot of people are using the system to hack to modern. And as far as I know, nobody's doing supers. You don't look at Shadowdark and think superheroes. Well, I looked at Shadowdarks and thought, well, Wretched Vigilantes would be perfect for Shadowdark. And then I looked at it again, and I'm like, I could do a 4-color superhero game, which is what I'm working on now, which could be my very first Kickstarter. So obviously, let's talk about your Kickstarter. Oh, Victor's not here. I don't know where he is. I hope he's okay. We know there's a lot of chaos and anarchy going on in my half of the world, but he lives 9 hours ahead of me. So hopefully you're okay, Victor, and you just forgot it was today. It's 5 o'clock, I think, where he lives. So maybe he's doing something more important. Saturday night, 5 o'clock. Anyways, his Kickstarter was successful. In fact, is the single most successful Kickstarter in the part of the world where he lives. Wow, that's amazing. I mean, he should. I don't know why he's not saying that when he talks about it. Okay. Yeah, you live in the middle of nowhere, someplace where it's like snows and they have polar bears, but still, is he Norse, Dutch? He's Eastern European. I don't know where, but yeah, whatever is 9 hours ahead of me is where he lives. So, but still, I would love to say I had the single largest tabletop role-playing game Kickstarter in the history of Site B /Ventura. I might be the only, but still. So yeah. And I mean, this is something that's been done 100 times. I love the art. I don't know where he gets the art, if he has an artist or if he's doing these himself. If you have an artist, please let me know who they are and how much they would charge, because the art is perfect. Look at this. This is just great. So yeah, this is a genre we've seen. Modern day versus the supernaturals. A brave few fighting off the hordes of the dark, completely unappreciated, but actually doing it with weapons as opposed to Scooby-Doo. And he was successful. And the PDF was 9. I ordered the PDF. I haven't received it yet. I assume it's not ready yet, or they are ready and I just haven't seen it yet. But yeah. You can get POD for $19. You can get the hardcover for $29. Well, I don't know, European money. And you can get the soft cover and the hardcover and the digital for $39. And I think most of the Kickstart went to the art and setting it up for publishing, because he'd already had the product. So I'm assuming that he chose Shadowdark for the similar reasons I chose Shadowdark. The framework is unbelievably easy to hack. Comments. Dutch. And saw Victor on stream yesterday. Seemed okay. Well, then I hope he just forgot. I would not be offended if you forgot, Victor, or if you were doing something else, especially involved if it involved the normal Saturday night, what you do there, whether it be, the company of a romantic partner or gaming or whatever, or you got eaten by a polar bear or whatever lives in Holland. I know so little about Holland. I feel dumb. Or wherever Dutch people live. Where do Dutch people live? Greenland. I know they live in Greenland. I sounding more and more like an idiot by not knowing where Victor lives. Whatever. I'm an American. We don't know geography. So I'm assuming Victor chose this system because of the ease of hackability, the approachability, the built-in fan base, and hey, Kelsey's making tons of money. Maybe we can get a little of that money. So as far as I know, he and I are the only two people doing Shadowdark Modern. If anybody else is doing Shadowdark Modern, please let me know. I don't know why I'm not on the Shadowdark Discord, because I could probably find out more people. I am on all Kelsey's other sites and her Facebook and her Twitter and her Twitch and her Vivo. And I've been talking to Kelsey on and off for 5 years. So yeah, I want to be the guy that does Shadowdark Modern with Viktor. I was even going to think about asking, as I'm continuing with rewriting superheroes, if I could make Blacklight sort of part of that world. Because my superhero world and converting it to this would not exist without Blacklight. Viktor's creations of the original Blacklight gave me the idea that these systems could be hacked. And seeing him do successful with Shadowdark Blacklight made me feel that Shadowdark Supers could also be successful. Maybe not as successful as him, but I'd like to do a $600 Kickstarter and make 1,000 if I ever figure out how to do a Kickstarter. Though knowing me, I break Kickstart. I might be getting those letters. I don't know how you did it, sir, but you managed to break our server. And I'd be like, yeah, it happened to me on Drive-Thru and Biggest Geekus also. So you're not the first. Breaking servers is my superpower. So, Viktor, I would like your permission to use part of Blacklight in the writing of the upcoming Shadowdark superhero world that I'm creating. As I take Vigilantes for Shadowdark and rewrite it and make it more 4-color, more open. Instead of having one pre-generated world, I'm going to have a couple ones. GameFound is the better platform for what? Talking or selling? I'll look into it. I've never heard of that one. Right, I just use Drive-Thru because that's it. So I'd ask Viktor questions about Blacklight and the Kickstarter and what he wants to do with it. I know he's working on his own system now called Ammo Box and his own magic tech world, using his own system. And like a year ago, I had said, if you write this, Ammo Box system, I'll hack it for supers. But now we're sharing Shadowdark. So I was hoping, we could continue to cross-platform his superpowered Shadowdark Blacklight world and my superpowered Shadowdark Fresno, Nevada / Crime City stuff. For doing initial offerings or just keep using Kickstarter charges too much. I'll look into it. Thank you, GameFound. Thank you. I was raised a poor orc child. Thank you, Coco B. Coco B. Beware. I apologize that Viktor isn't here. I'm going to check the Twitter once more time. Private chat. There's no messages there. Twitter. So the only other place I know of him is Twitter. And but yeah, okay. Anyways, it's 8:16 where I am. I apologize to each and every one of you. We'll try and reschedule. Thanks for the information on GameFound. I was raised a poor orc child. Have a great Saturday. Stay safe out there. We know it is a wild, weird weekend with everything going on where I live and the world in general with everything's going on in the Middle East. So, take a moment to just be thankful for everything you have. And to use my favorite quote, especially now, laugh hard, run fast, and just be kind to each other and get off my land. I appreciate each and every one of you for taking time out of your Saturday to hang out with me. I'll reschedule with Viktor. Till next time, see ya.
There she goes, screaming fight, tiger lights at the lights. Every now and then a fight, take a side, with a side, baby shows and an escapade. Let's the arcade, pixelated party, lesson, they unafraid. Karaoke screams, singing themes, heart and sleeves. Anime dreams, bursting seams, city gleams.